He wanted her. She wanted him. That was what mattered. She bent down to remove her boots. As if he knew what she was thinking, the laird stopped splashing his face with water and turned around. "I'm no sleeping in the hayloft again, Kinley lass." "Yeah, you told me that." She reached to unlace her trousers. He came to her so fast she jumped under the hands he put on her shoulders. "My own bed isn't all I want." He looked over her head, as if meeting her gaze might be too much for him. "If you stay, I'll have you." Kinley glanced down. The bulge in his pants suggested magnitude on an astronomical scale. There was a slight tremor in both of his hands. When she looked up, she saw that his eyes had gone as dark as ink and glittered with something about to snap its leash. "Well then." She skimmed her hand up his chest and pressed it against his lean, hard cheek. "I think we should get to it." Lachlan turned his head into Kinley's hand, pressing his mouth against her palm as he reached between them. She felt him tug loose her laces before he slid her trousers down over her bottom to her knees. He knelt to remove them and then remained on his knees as he pressed his face against her belly and nuzzled her. Threading her fingers through his thick, heavy mane, she drew his hair back so she could see his mouth on her skin. He looked up at her while he grazed the edge of her navel with his teeth. She felt the curve of his smile before he laved her there with his tongue. Had she ever thought of her stomach as an erogenous zone? What he was doing to her set off little quakes of sensation that shot through her like crackling sparks and made her go completely, utterly wet between her thighs. "My knees are turning to primrose pudding," she told him. Lachlan made a tortured sound and stood, his hands catching the edge of her shirt and tugging it up over her head. The last of her clothing went sailing behind him to float down onto the floor. Then he held her at arm's length, not inspecting or ogling, but admiring her. His silence unnerved her a little. "Stop staring. I know you've already seen all the goodies." "Aye, but you've no goodies," he said, his voice so deep now it seemed to pour through her like dark honey. "You've lovelies." His fingertips trailed over the contours of her breast, the touch whispering all her nerves to life. The sensation felt so exquisite, a rush of reaction flashed through her, saturating her flesh with aching heat. He pressed the backs of his fingers against her swelling curves. "And they blush for me,"